All right, welcome. That rousing tune always gets me going. I don't know about you guys, but hello. Excuse me. Today, we're going to be doing some King of the Hill action, getting everyone hyped for Turin's ECL final, the Eternal Challenger League, later today. About 3 hours, give or take, so we'll see how many people we can get through during that time. Just wanted to get everyone hyped. I'm pretty hyped. I don't know about you guys. Wanted to share the hype, kind of reverberate back and forth with the hype and just go all in. So hope you guys are doing well this morning. Nice and early out here at 9 a.m. in the beautiful state of Utah. Yeah, we've got Deadly Bunnies versus Divina Q. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look. Make these guys do their pick and bans. Oh no, might be AFK. Welcome. Yeah, good to see you guys this morning. Got Zacky Wacky Productions. Estalia calls upon you. Yes, absolutely useless. Welcome, Lux. If I'm not truly hyped, why am I not screaming? I'm not really a screamer, to be honest. I don't know. I gotta be really hyped. Also, it's a little bit early in the morning on a Sunday. I'm not trying to scream and wake up all my neighbors. So, yeah. I'm a pretty low-key individual in general. Like, I'm kind of high energy in a way. Especially when I'm presenting, but not really. I don't know, I'm pretty chill dude overall, so my hype is kind of low-key hype, but still hype nonetheless. Definitely. I mean, that's why I made this meme title and everything for today, because, yeah, it's gonna be a good time. Be a good time. Always a good time when Turin does these big tournament streams. Brings out, it blows me away constantly how many people he gets live, because, like, you look at YouTube streaming, a lot of people who stream on YouTube really don't get that many views. Like his is pretty far up there. Alright, Deadly Buddy's gonna pick Golden Order. So the yellow pajama boys and Balthazar Smelt are gonna be coming in versus something. Bans Dwarfs and Greenskins. Both very good bands here. My own personal bias, I'd probably ban Dwarfs and Vampire Counts. That's just me. I hate Vampire Counts if I'm playing Empire, but Greenskins are definitely an interesting one as well. Empire can have a bit of a tough time there. Oh, thanks, Lux. Much appreciated. Yeah, man. It was a fun one. War Wagons are in an interesting place right now. Like, even in campaign, I think they're pretty solid units. The fact they have so much ammo, and, yeah. Missile damage is pretty nice. They are useless as chariots, but they're there. Welcome to Estalia, gentlemen. Yes. Yeah, Divina Q going with standard Bretonia. So a clash of men in Bloodpine Woods should be very fun. All day Warhammer streaming, exactly. Exactly. We gotta get all the content in today for you guys. It's a big day. Big day, you know? Amazon's is released. Still no word yet on the Wood Elves DLC, but I'm really hoping that it's the October release, because it seems like Creative Assembly kind of spaces things out to a degree, where there's more or less like one release a month, it seems like. So I'm really hoping kind of next on the rotation is the Wood Elves DLC, and we'll get that sometime in like October maybe. Because, I mean, it's already basically the end of September when we haven't heard anything yet, so I don't know. I hope that it's sooner rather than later. I thought it would be potentially out by now already, but yeah. Right, Lux? Yeah, he gets a lot of viewers during his streams. It's very impressive, honestly. Hey, what's up, Jay Phoenix? Hey, Cormac Brown. Hey Dov, long-time viewer here. Just wanted to show some love and support. Much appreciated, man. From down south, I see your Aussie bucks right there. Thanks, man. Much appreciated. As always, very generous. Yeah, I will keep the content coming, man. I've got some stuff planned. I have that Troy video recorded, at least the video content of it, but I haven't had a chance to get the voice part recorded. I actually ended up being a little bit busier than I anticipated over the weekend and over the past few days, but yeah. More Crusader Kings streams coming too. I'm also probably going to start doing some videos on Crusader Kings. I don't know exactly what, but probably just, I don't know, what would you guys be interested in? Because the campaign streams are okay, but in looking around and checking out some other people's Crusader Kings content, there's sort of like a narrative campaigns where they do the, like, almost like you're telling a story of what happened, but you kind of like cut it up basically so it's not super long and a little bit more kind of cinematic and narrative. I'm thinking maybe I would do that. It would require a decent amount of editing and filming, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Would that be worth it? Do a little bit more of like produced Crusader Kings content rather than just streams, because it seems like that might be more interesting. I don't know. Definitely having a ton of fun with Crusader Kings though, and the Civ 6 update just came out as well. Probably going to be streaming that. Do more ridiculously broken Civs. I don't know if any of you guys follow Civ 6, but it's a game I have played quite a bit off the channel. I do plan on playing it more on the channel. A lot of Crusader YouTube spectate only. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't really looked into the multiplayer side, like who's good, who's not. That could be interesting potentially to get into. I don't know if there's a big multiplayer scene for Crusader Kings. I would think so, but I don't know. Let's take a look at some builds here, though. Beautiful day. Oh, man. I mean, out here in the Bloodpine Woods, it doesn't look so beautiful. It's kind of rainy and gray. But Men of the Empire taking on the Men of Bretonia. Let's have a look at some builds. I see a couple great cannons here. Excellent pick in this matchup. We've got a Bright Wizard, Balthazar, the Smelt up in the air, a couple of Demigryph Knights with halberds, Outriders, 2 Outriders, bunch of spears, a couple halberds, and some swordsmen as well. For Bretonia, peasant mobs up front, second line, we've got, well, not really a second line, but here, hidden behind these 2 trees, is the Fey Enchantress and 2 Paladins. Beautiful. We've got plenty of peasant archers, and Defenders of the Fleur-de-Lis, some questing knights, companions of Cornell, 1 unit of Pegasus Knights, a couple men-at-arms. Are there any of these pox arrows? Yeah, we've got 2 pox arrows. Pretty standard pick, and interestingly enough, like, I was having a discussion with someone the other day about this. Silver shields are not very common on cavalry, so having a silver shield here for the Knights of the Fleur-de-Lis actually makes them quite good at going after Empire missile units, even like war wagons potentially. Let's see how they can do. This is a pretty strong Empire build, just a lot of anti-cavalry tools, basically. Like, especially Balthazar here going to be rocking Final Transmutation and Searing Doom, both, again, counter-cavalry tools. So, Belly Bunny's got everything he needs to get it done. The danger here, obviously, is in these Questing Knights. He's going to have to use the cannons and the Outriders in order to fend them off. Or, not the, yeah, Pegasus Knights. Questing Knights should be able to be dealt with. These heroes are potentially dangerous as well. We'll see how they do. Guessing nets here on this wizard. Yeah, just nets and the Power Stone for some extra magic. Oh man, Balthazar, you ready to run? You ready to run? I mean, Balthazar's got okay stats, but Pegasus Knights will pummel him. There's no question about that. Good stuff. Good stuff. This is almost like, almost, not quite, but almost like an old Total War game. Just got some humans fighting. There's just some Pegasus involved. Pegasus. Other than that, though, this is basically like a non-fantasy battle, other than the magic and the Pegasuses. Gelt is awesome. He's a pretty hilarious character. Look, also, let's appreciate the banana pajamas for the Empire here. The Golden Order. Absolutely wonderful. The Golden Demis actually do look pretty good, not gonna lie. They just look super fancy. But, yeah. The yellow pajamas I'm not a fan of, to be honest. It's alright. They're fine. Actually really like some of the other color schemes for the Empire, though, like the Talabeclan color scheme. Pretty good. It's just like a slightly different Empire, like a little more crimson almost. And then, yeah, we've also got these Yeomen back here. They're gonna get spotted, it looks like. Yeah, one of the cannons actually switches back onto them, which potentially could be a mistake. I mean, they are just Yeomen. I'd probably stay focused on these Pegasus Knights, just because they're going to be a big danger to Balthazar. That being said, a good final transmutation will kill quite a few of them, so if he chooses to use his magic on that, this is going to be probably the best target for it. I mean, not getting it on the main cav blob is also nice, but yeah, Bretonnians slowly approaching over here. They've got these spears way out, kind of protecting the flank. State troops going to get engaged. This is a pretty good engagement for state troops, but a little bit of a misplay here, I think, by Deadly Bunnies, allowing the bowmen to get into range here. They're going to pick off these artillery crews very quickly, and, I mean, the bowmen, the cannons currently have killed a bunch of mounted yeomen, but actually this other one's probably got its value already, taking shots at these Pegasus Knights. Killed about half the unit models already. Let's see. Not quite half, but pretty close. This cannon, yeah, gonna get taken out by the peasant archers. Let's see how quickly they can take out this one. Interesting. One paid for itself, one definitely didn't, but maybe a little bit of a misclick there. Yeah, need to get those Pegasus Knights away. Go after Balthazar. Ooh, a Dwellers Below as well. Not something you see super often from the Fey Enchantress, but just making sure to finish off that cannon. The crew will get pulled away by that nasty area of effect damage spell. It probably will blow up all the guns too, so both cannons offline already. These Outriders need to come get involved. But Gelt, yeah, Gelt needs to get these Outriders to screen him out, otherwise he's going to go down pretty fast. Demigryph Knights also missed their charge, it looks like, potentially, but I don't know if the Questing Knights really had a charge order either, so a weird situation there for both players. Pegasus Knights do peel as the Outriders are coming over, and those Peasant Archers have been doing a great job. That being said, these Empire State Troops can now push forward and get at those Archers, since they won that frontline engagement pretty decisively. State Troops very clearly superior to Men-at-Arms. But over here, these Demigryph Knights are going to have a bad time. They're kind of continuously trying to pull away from the Companions of Cornell. These other Questing Knights also coming in now. The Paladins are mixed in here. This is really not a good situation at all for these Demis. Probably need a nice final transmutation to finish off this blob, but even still, look at these two Pegasus Knights just fighting Balthazar up in the air. Their stats are good enough that, I mean, as long as they don't get bad RNG, they can actually poke Balthazar down here. And with the Outriders getting continuously pressured away, it looks like things are pretty decisively in Bretonnia's favor. A lot of this infantry is kind of getting a little bit mixed up here, but Balthazar just straight up finishes those Pegasus Knights himself, kills both of them, and the unit is completely wiped out now. Pretty crazy. But, oh man, speaking of getting wiped out, looks like the Lightcaster gets killed by the Paladin. Hopefully he got his Power Stone off already. I don't know if he even got any net value from that, but would be really nice if he had a final transmutation right now to pop on this big blob here, try and bunker bust some of these extra cavalry units, but it's going to be pretty hard for Golden Bunnies to take out the Paladins at this point. I mean, with the Fey Enchantress plus the Paladins, Balthazar can really only do so much there, and he's not really a top-tier combatant. I mean, he might be able to beat the Fey Enchantress, but maybe not even. She's about as equally as good of a combatant as he is, with even more charge bonus and magic attacks. Granted, Belt Balthazar has magic resistance himself, so it's a little bit of a give and take there. But yeah, with these Outriders getting caught up, that's kind of the last hope for the Empire here. It looks like Bretonnia will take home a pretty decisive win, but fun stuff. Yeah, this is my one issue with cannons. If I'm going to bring a cannon here, there's kind of a couple schools of thought. Number one, you could take a steam tank, because that doesn't have a cannon crew that can get killed by archers, peasant archers, mostly just going to bounce off of it with its 160 armor. Or if you are going to take a cannon, I would say you probably only want to take one cannon and try and play forward from it as much as you can. Even then, because Bretonnia often outnumbers you as the Empire, it's just kind of a weird situation to have to put yourself in. But Golden Bunny is going to do his best here to try and pull something out. He's going to get these halberds into combat. Outriders also continuously pulling away. But those questing knights, man, Outriders are only 84 speed. Bretonnian knights are very fast, 75 speed on those questing knights, so the speed differential's not so great, and yeah. As a result, especially once they hit their charge speed, those questing knights should be able to catch those Outriders. Maybe not, they are pretty tired, but they're doing a good job of it. Balthazar is just kind of chilling now, letting his troops fight, trying to get whatever wins of magic he can. Defense of the Fleur-de-Lis gets seen off by these Outriders here, but the other Outriders are going to get cornered. Outmaneuvered here by these peasant mobs. Maybe. I don't know. It looks like actually they might be able to squeak away from the mobs themselves. We've got some spearmen coming back, so Golden Bunny's still fighting and clawing as best he can here. And if the Fey Enchantress is burning all of her magic, granted, she's not going to take much damage from the Final Transmutation because she also has magic resistance. But the Paladins, he could potentially bunker bust. You gotta be careful not to wait too long. Otherwise, you're definitely going to hit army losses, but Balthazar makes a dive right here to help break these peasants. He really has got to get back up in the air before those paladins come. Oh, man. Run, Balthazar, run! Yeah, but the Empire's just teetering on army losses right now. It's very, very close. I think he's probably done at this point. Unless he's got that Final Transmutation right now to deal with this hero blob. Couple peasant archer shots coming here. Oh yeah, that's going to be a big issue with the speed as well of the Outriders, is that as they're getting poisoned, they'll be slower than the Bretonnian knights. But yeah, shooting the Fey there, getting a little bit of value. Looks like goes for a Searing Doom instead. Yeah, definitely want to save for that Final Transmutation if he has it, which he does. Yeah, it's pretty much over though. Enchantress gets a attack here. That's going to trigger a little bit of drain. They immediately just rout. And yeah, the Sigmar Sons also. I guess they're unbreakable, but even just taking this damage. These aren't even the Sigmar Sons, though. They're just regular swordsmen. How about that? Faye catches herself a little bit there, and that is game. Oh, yeah. No War Wagons is a loss. Potentially. I like War Wagons better than Outriders here, because they're kind of hard for Bretonnia to kill, actually. Like, they really have to dedicate some resources. Granted, they're very slow, and Questing Knights can catch up with them, but basically you just, like, use your War Wagons as bait, and then countercharge with your Demigryph Knights. Swordsmen got a ton of kills, man, against peasant mobs in that front line of Man-at-Arms with Shields. Super cost-effective in that matchup. 61 for the Sigmar Sons, but 107, 130. Very impressive. Demigryph Knights, one of them got a good engagement there, but the cannons was definitely rough. The fact that these archers got in, one of them 87 kills and a chevron for just a unit of archers, that's super cost-effective. So fun stuff on both sides. Pegasus Knights ended up not being as much of a factor. Balthazar did take a lot of damage from them, but the Outriders were kind of able to see them off. It just took a little bit of time. And the engagement with the Demigryph Knights versus the Companions, the fact that the Paladins were mixed in there, it was just not going to be good for the Demis. So, yeah. Fun one, though. GG's to both. Let's get the next competitor in here. Give me just a second, guys. And next up we got Happy Puppy, who last time went on an absolute tear with Kalita. Very fun stuff. If you guys haven't seen that stream, definitely go check that out, especially if you like some Kalita games. Had some absolute scraps, so I'm excited to see what she does here. Let's go ahead. Sorry about moving the mic. Let's get the next map locked in. We'll go to the spooky castle Drakenhof. Demis with no healing is pretty risky. I agree, especially the halberd demis, because they're even more expensive, right? Lance demis, that's one of their benefit, is it's only 100 gold cheaper, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it is there. And they have better melee defense, too. Now, granted, the anti-large is obviously very good against Bretonnia when you're going against the enemy cavalry, but I find melee defense to be very important versus questing knights. Like, it's just weird with the double caster. Like, I don't know. He definitely needed Balthazar's magic to support that cavalry engagement, but it's just, yeah, a little bit of a strange one. Well, yeah, Tomb Kings are not so bad, and Kalita especially is, you know, fun lord, non-caster, like, quote-unquote horse combat lord, even though she's not really on a horse. Yeah, the final transmutation is something, or you could even just only take Searing Doom and Plague of Rust and go, like, super wide with Pistoliers, because Pistoliers, I mean, Questing Knights only have 70 armor, so if you hit them with that Overcast Plague of Rust, and they get, just blasted by Pistoliers, you can get insane value that way. I also kind of like Crossbowmen in that matchup, honestly. As like a cheap missile unit. I don't know. I'd have to put together a specific Balthazar build, but it's like some Crossbowmen, Pistoliers, maybe only one cannon, and I would take only one Demi, probably, and have a Warrior Priest with them. And then maybe also Firecaster with just... Yeah, Flaming Sword of Ruin's pretty good, because it gives magic and fire on missile and melee, and buffs missile damage. Or just maybe only Cascading Fire Cloak to cast on the demis. I don't know. It's kind of weird having two casters there, but since Balthazar gives you lots of extra magic, you could maybe get away with it. Although you could also just take Empire Captain on a Pegasus to help you fight up in the air, and then he can maybe goon Paladin if you get a good engagement. Like, get a clean Plague of Rust, charge the Paladin. You know, if you catch him out away, gives you another single entity, relatively cheap. Yeah, Archlector Jade Wizard would be good combo, exactly, yeah, if you want to save some money. Yeah. Balthazar's just a little bit of a risky play against Bretonnia. Lewin's also pretty scary there. But most people go with the Vanchantress these days, it seems like. Oh yeah, Crossbows very underrated. I made a video about them, and I've been using them quite a bit recently, and I think they're super solid. Like, definitely cheaper than handgunners, but they still have really good range, and they can fire in an arc, unlike... well, they have good range, unlike archers, and they have much better damage. They can fire in an arc, unlike handgunners, and they're cheaper. They're a nice kind of middle ground there for a relatively cheap missile unit. Especially if you go super wide with the Empire, just take a nice combined arms, like they're a good asset in that kind of a situation. So here we've got Davina sticking with Bretonnia. Happy Puppy's going to take the classiest of the Dark Elves, Harganeth, which is acceptable. If you're going to play elves, it's definitely the most acceptable to play like Nagarythe, Harganeth. We don't have a Wood Elves faction, unfortunately, that has a black and gold color scheme. Hopefully someday. But Huntsmen. I mean, Huntsmen don't have as good at AP values, like base versus infantry, right? They do have loose formation and stock, which is nice, but they're also quite a bit more expensive. And the Vanguard deployment is a thing too. The anti-large is okay, but I don't know. Crossbowmen, they're just very, I don't know, kind of all-purpose, basically. Like, you can have them do a lot of different things, and they're going to do well at it. Basically, whatever they shoot, they'll do decently. And especially with Balthazar, Plague of Rust, I mean, Huntsman also quite well with that, but... Yeah, 5 AP, exactly. It's pretty nice. But even without armor debuffs, especially like kind of middle armor targets, like 70, 80. I guess that's not really middle, but like towards the heavy end. This is an interesting one, though, for Bretonnia and Dark Elves both. Dark Elves kind of, I don't know. I actually might try a build here that doesn't rely so much on... I mean, Dark Elves, you can go pretty degenerate in this matchup and take, like, Morathi double K-Knight Assassin, which in... Plus, with the Slaanesha's Harvesters, essentially you get, like, 7 Soul Stealer type effects, or more, 8. So it's pretty gross, but it looks like actually Crone Hellebron's here on horseback, I would imagine. Yeah, she's actually pretty strong on horseback. The strongest of any of her forms, I would say. The man score is not cost effective, but on horseback, she's got legit weapon damage, charge bonus, super high attack, only 48 defense and 15 armor, but 92 speed. I like to run her with a master these days. The master is a really nice addition because it gives her a little bit of physical resistance. And since you can take an item that gives her magic resistance, which looks like Happy Puppy did not take, basically it gives you more or less damage resistance, right, from the Guardian effect. Instead here we've got some Cold One Knights, Deathcaster for Spirit Leech, and Purple Sun, very nice. Dark Riders with shields, Slaanesha's Harvesters, Scourge Runners, 4 Scourge Runners, yeah, definitely very heavy on the Scourge Runners. They are very good in this matchup, so we'll see how that does. Hellebron also can come in here and strike down the Fey Enchantress. We've also got a Paladin. Interesting to see Foot Squires here, I guess to try and take out a Blackguard box, potentially. Got some Peasant Mobs, Pox Arrows, Trebuchets, Wild Trebuchet pick, Knights over here, Knights of the Realm, Knights of the Realm, Knights of the Realm, and Knights of the Lion-Hearted. So 4 Knights of the Realm, including the ROR, which is quite good in this matchup. Basically like a cheaper Grail Knight without some of the stuff. So they do have the benefit of magic damage, ROR stats. They do also encourage, which is nice. A lot of scary stuff the Dark Elves can bring. Let's see, though. Crone Hellebron, definitely very scary. On foot and on horseback, she's not the absolute worst. I would say the Manticore, because she has only 45 armor, is pretty bad. She does do AP. She's the only AP Manticore, but it's also quite expensive for what she is, and she's pretty squishy up in the air. Looks like she's off. But I kind of like this, almost as like how you used to use Carl Franz on horseback before the Archlector and... yeah, before the Archlector's buffs were really good and the Warrior Priest. For Hammer of Sigmar was AoE. Arl actually was decent in that kind of situation, but alright. Scourge Runners come over, they're going to start to do some skirmish with these Knights of the Realm. They do have to be careful. Knights of the Realm pretty fast. Once they hit their charge animation, the Scourge Runners might not be able to fully get away. Looks like they're just right on the edge of the charge animation there. That's pretty frustrating for Divina. But it's fine. These other Scourge Runner Chariots going to lead these Knights of the Lion-Hearted on a wild goose chase. Meanwhile, on the front line, Hellebron and these Red Spears could crash here. The Foot Squires will pretty decisively win this, though, so gotta be careful. Oh, nice pick by Happy Puppy. These Dark Riders with shields going to get into this field trebuchet, it looks like. Perhaps no. No, the Knights of the Realm do spot. They're moving to block. I don't know, actually, if this is specifically moving to block, but they are end up blocking some of that. Yeah, in the front line, though, as I said, these Foot Squires should be able to mop up. Hellebron, if she throws her attack buff over here, though, and gets, like, all the spears in a good engagement, they could actually do okay. Looks like Slaanesha's Harvesters and the Old One Knights just ate Knights of the Lion-Hearted, though. That's really nice for Happy Puppy. He's getting in the back line also with these Dark Riders. Divina wrecks the other Dark Riders. They don't do much. Field Trebuchet at best was kind of stalled for a little bit of time, but Dwellers Below tried to line that up with the Comet, but unfortunately did not work. But these Dread Spears definitely having a sad time. The Fear Spears are not necessarily to be feared. They are fearful. Why they have that name. But the Knights overrun immediately and get into the Scourge Runner Chariots, which is not great. Looks like Murderous Prowess has kicked off, though. Prone swords draining. These cavalry really need to get in and start helping out the other Scourge Runner chariots, too. I'm not sure where they're at. Looks like they're coming back as well. But this one Scourge Runner has been caught and killed. It's not the end of the world, though. The Fey Enchantress is in danger here. If the Crone can get over there and get on her, that would be great. And use these, Slaughterous Harvesters, Doomfire Warlocks, and the Cold One Knights to get in here and shut down this cavalry. I might have peeled the Slaughterous Harvesters to take out the artillery piece, but it looks like with these chariots coming over, they should be able to deal with it. The Fear Spears are almost completely gone at this point, though. The Dark Riders, actually, there's some Dark Riders mixed in here. Going to go over and silence the Light Cav there. Nice Spirit Leech on those Knights of the Realm. Fey Enchantress is fighting with the Sorceress here. Both of them sitting side saddle because, you know, that's just the way it goes. But Crone Hellebron, oh, that's nasty. If she gets in here with the Fey Enchantress, that's going to be a bad time for the Fey. Yeah, she will take a lot of damage in this. The Paladin immediately rushes over to the Damsel in Distress, trying to bail her out, but a couple hits from Hellebron's all it takes because she hits so hard. Bowman firing in, though, and we've got more Knights of the Realm also coming for a potential rear charge. This could be pretty decisive if they end up doing a lot of damage here. Will they be able to save the Fey? It looks like Crone uses her attack buff there, but it does cause Rampage, so she can't get a good counter charge. And that means that, oh, the Fey Enchantress does shatter, though. She gets killed, too. Just killed outright by the Crone. It looks like a lot of the Crone's support will go down here, but will it be enough? Crone does have a little bit of a drain as well. It's not as good of a Mortis Engine as, say, a Mortis Engine or the Fey, but with the loss of the Fey, it's going to be interesting here. I don't know that there's a lot that can necessarily kill Hellebron at this point is the problem. These Knights, if they got her alone on an open field charge, they could do some damage, but even then, they'll kill quite a few models on the engagement. So, I don't know. At this point, I think it's pretty gone for Bretonnia. Happy Puppy sweeping in and decisively just eating with Hellebron. Man, I might save this one. Hellebron, I've used her in similar situations like this recently, using her as a Cav kind of support lord, and it's worked out pretty well for me. Here, she manages to get a snipe on the Fey Enchantress. Nasty Crone Hellebron with her anime hair. Oh yeah, she's having a grand old time, just covered head to toe in blood. Nice purple sun there. Crone now charges in to deal with these foot squires herself. That drain kicks up. And with the top tier of her, like, Enrage ability, basically, it's like the Norskin Enrage, but a little bit different. It's a 3-tiered ability as she's in melee. Gets more AP and something else. But, yeah, she's fighting very well here. I wonder how she would do against the Lewin build. I mean, if you kind of guess that the Fey Enchantress will be here, then she's very good. She didn't even have her magic resistance, which would make her even better directly against the Fey. Yeah, 60 kills on Hellebron, plus taking out Fey Enchantress. Scourge Runners did their job, more or less. 132 kills and an XP Chevron for these Dark Riders. Great job there. Cold One Knights also 40 kills and an XP Chevron. Yeah, Davina did a good job with these Knights of the Realm, 66, 50, nice kills there. The Foot Squires were able to clean up the Fear Spears, no problem, but at the end of the day, the Crone was just kind of a wild card pick here. Was not really dealt with. I mean, the Knights of the Lion-Hearted would have been able to in the late game if they had been preserved, but Happy Puppy kind of prioritized them with the Cold One Knights and everything, and it was very, very solid. Hey, what's up, Jay Johnny? Thanks for being here. That was a fun one. Good job to Happy Puppy. I'm going to save that replay real quick. And meanwhile, let's get the next one. Let's see here. Looks like it's Bob Tresh. Cool, cool. Let me get next map locked in as well. Before I forget, and I'll get that replay saved. We'll go to Doc Karaz. Okay. So, fun fact. Did you know if you're spectating, it still saves an autosave? So, like, I'll go here and rename that autosave to Hellebroni, even though they're not the Hellebronis, just Hellebroni, you know, one singular Hellebroni. So I've got that one for later. Yeah, man, she's killing it right now with these builds. Yeah, I see exactly, Lux. Hellebron only has 45, the Sorceresses and Beastmasters have 80. I think she should also have 80 on the Manticore. Also, the Sorceresses should not have Murderous Prowess on the Manticore. I don't know, I don't think Hellebron or the Master do. She's a Caster Lord, she should not have... And you shouldn't have Murderous Prowess on a Manticore. It's really strong. No problem, though. We got not a move hacker in here, which is Bob Tresh. Looks like Golden Eagle had to drop. That's fine. We'll go ahead and get him out of the running. So yeah, ECL's still got some time. We might be able to get a second wave of people through here if you guys want. I expected those battles to take a little bit longer, but no problem. The Chief, yeah, she is the head of the Hellebronis, the anime hares. All right. Oh, you know what? Am I dumb? I think Turin's stream is not until later. I think we actually have a lot of time. Oh no, it is 2 hours. That's what I thought. Okay. Rip J Phoenix. Yeah, I was thinking I might do a watch-along party. I don't know if Turin would be down for me to do that. Like, I wouldn't be rebroadcasting necessarily. I would just be, like, here chilling, maybe get some people in a Discord call or something, and just kind of hang out and, like, live talk about the matches. If I can get some of the competitors in here to talk about their matches, like, after, maybe, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll have to look and see who all's doing what, but... 2 p.m., yeah. Yeah. 2 p.m. Eastern time, noon my time, so we got plenty of time left. It's too bad. Too bad, Jay Phoenix. Yeah, it was a fun one. I actually really like Hellebron like that. I was saying earlier, it's a super solid include. Like the fact that she has poison, super high attack, like just really good stats on the horse. Honestly, high charge, high weapon strength with good AP, anti-infantry. It's not the best. It's okay. I mean, you'd rather have anti-large, but it's fine. And then yeah, 70 attack with poison. Plus her buffs are very, very good as well. It was fun. I like that. I enjoyed that. See way too much Marathi and Malekith and, you know, Dream Sorceress. It's fun to have a wild Hellebron pick. Granted, because they changed the way the collision attacks work, the Witch card is now just terrible. It's like the worst. Yeah, her attack buff causes rampage, but it's pretty strong. Gives a lot of weapon damage, and the fact that it's castable at a range, like you don't necessarily have to. It's not in an AOE around her, like with like say Hammer or Sigbar, right? Like you can actually throw it over there somewhere. Um, I like it. I think she's very underrated. Probably most underrated lord for Dark Elves. Yeah, her attack buff has the rampage, yep. Yeah, the Cauldron of Blood, they quote unquote fixing it actually just ruined it. Like, it's terrible now. So, I feel like they should just change it back so that the Witch Elves on the side will throw daggers again. that will deal damage like it should. Yeah. Well, both of the carts are just useless now because their attack animations are not very good and they don't do any damage. Yeah. Hellebron's best on the horse, for sure. Best on the horse. No doubt about that. Oh, this is a wild one. Wow. Okay, Happy Puppy going all in. Double Blood Rack. That is a bold pick to say the least. Blood Racks are interesting monsters, let's say. Maybe a little underrated. Not as bad as most people say, but they're tricky to use, let's say. We've got Bolt Throwers. Hellebron once again with a Beast Sorceress. Some Blackguard, some Spears, Spears, and the Sisters of Singing Doom. Against the Lizardmen, this is going to be a wild one. We've got double Solar Engine, Saurus Warriors, Red Crest in the center. Yeah, the Court of Sotek even. Plenty of Javs. Got some Cold One Riders, very cost effective. Lord Mazdamundi on his chair. More Cold One Riders. This is a pretty basic, kind of bog standard build. Other than the Cohort of Sotek, this is almost an all vanilla build too. I love it, man. I love it. I'm a fan of these kind of like wild out there builds because there's so much as yet to be discovered synergy, and people will forget about things like, I don't know, I've noticed this when a DLC comes out, like you get some heavy saturation when it first comes out. Sometimes units stick around, like the Stone Trolls obviously did, but like Pump Wagons you don't even see that much anymore, like the Lion Chariots, for example, from previous. Hellebron's a good example of that, like Malice too. I mean, Malice is just bad, but yeah, Hellebron people forgot about. Nakai also, somebody sent me a replay with Nakai that he actually did something. Right, Lux? No. The only cart right now for the Dark Elves that's worth taking is the Medusa cart, because it has a ranged attack, which will still fire while it's in melee, and the AoE, the debuffs are actually like semi-impactful, unlike that 6% physical resistance. Yeah, Pump Wagons are very good, but their HP is so low and their leadership is so low that it's pretty easy to deal with them. I mean, granted, I still think people don't use them as much as they should, but you can deal with them relatively easily. I actually think Boar Chariots are very underrated, though. Boar Chariots, they got some changes when Pump Wagons came out, and I don't think a lot of people realize, but they're very good now. I wouldn't say very good, but they're a solid pick for sure. At $950 for an AP Chariot's a good price for sure. Like most factions have to pay like 1,000 plus at least for their armor-piercing chariots. Like the Razor Gore Chariot's what, 1,000? Gore Beast is like 1,200, 1,300, something like that. Same for the Lion Chariot. Same for Flayers. So for that, for like a AP Chariot that's still high charge is good. The Pump Wagons are decent in sustained combat, but you kind of have to have something for them to fight on top of. Anyway, here in this battle, the Solar Engines are blasting. They got a nice hit on the Sisters of Singing Doom there. That's some good high-value contact. The Solar Engines will start focusing, obviously, on the Bastiladons, but they do have the plaque of Sunburst Standard. That's right, Sunburst Standard of Hexawaddle, which will give them a bit of missile resistance here versus the Bolt Throwers. They're not going to do damage very quickly. But Sisters of Singing Doom now run in to countercharge the Cohort of Sotek here. Hellebron's also going to go help out there. Meanwhile, Harpies are just kind of holding the flanks here. Unfortunately, Puppy's going to get into a situation where, excuse me, she is going to have a hard time protecting everything just because her build's kind of small. and she'll get a great engagement here with these Court of Sotek, but it looks like a banishment going to be called in response here, which will just wreck those Sisters of Singing Doom and the spears. So good stuff there. Meanwhile, the Karens of Cain swoop down to interrupt a charge. They actually do manage to interrupt the charge of those Cold One Knights decently well. The spears still get clipped pretty hard, but they can run in there now to do some damage. The Solar Engine, one of them's almost down from continuous focus fire of the bolt throwers. Mazdamundi is throwing an Apotheosis there to try and sustain it. We'll see. It might be a little bit of an attrition game there, but these Blackguard definitely need to watch out, not get rear side charged too badly. But Medusa, I'm not really sure what they're doing, to be honest. I think they're maybe just going to shoot these cavalry, which will be a pretty solid play. The Saurus in the front line also, they could be blasting. I'm not sure where the Manticore's headed either, but anywhere it can go, it will be effective. Nice, yeah, see, exactly like this. It will pick away models, the Blood Rack Medusa, over time with a unit of cav, especially lower model count cav like this would be pretty cost effective, but oh man, Manticore is just going to pressure here and directly go after one of those solar engines. Might end up losing out, but one of the bolt throwers is down and Murderous Prowess is now active. That being said, these Medusa have not taken a lot of damage. They are pretty vulnerable still, especially to the solar engines, but that one's going to countercharge in there to the Cold One Riders. Cold One Riders just so cost effective. Such a great unit, to be honest. They're going to just muck about this entire line. Unfortunately, Hellebron ended up taking a lot of damage in that engagement, though. That's maybe one of the reasons why its balance of power is kind of so tilted right now. The Court of Sotek and the Saurus, especially with their high weapon damage, did quite a bit there. But a second Manticore summon's been pulled up. Mazdamundi and the Solar Engines are basically busy. The Manticore came in, did get netted, and then charged by the Cold One Knights that were kind of held in reserve there. This is a pretty strong build, I would say, from Bob Tresh here. I think he's probably got this one in the bag. Oh, yeah, that's nasty. All the javelins right into Hellebron's face. Does a lot of very cost-effective damage. Those Skink Cohort, actually, I think might have got an XP Chevron from that. So, yeah, with Hellebron going down, that's going to be a bit of a problem. Double Medusa pick was just a little bit too much, I think. Even just having Feral Manticores would have been better, probably. But Hellebron makes her stand here. She's going to charge, get the Manticore in there to try and trigger a Terror Route on those Saurus. They do actually Terror Route. She's able to maybe get away there, but the Court of Sotek being unbreakable, they're back. Court of Sotek, yeah, they do deal poison damage as well, so they'll kind of slow her down from disengaging. I mean, everything does poison, right, for Lizardmen, but oh man, the Solar Engine shots actually knocked the Medusae over. I did not realize that. That's one of the reasons why this is kind of a bad monster, is because it can get knocked over. Any monsters that have the ability to get knocked over, it's not great. Then it really depends on mass profile usually, but if they even have the animations for it. But Medusa, because they have very low mass for monsters, relatively speaking, also pretty squishy in terms of armor and HP. They can be used as kind of like a mobile cav support monster, from what I found, but honestly, in that role, they're less cost-effective than Manticores, and basically you would take one if you don't, if you have two Manticores already. But fun one from Happy Puppy nonetheless. Chrono Hellebron, not quite enough that time. Very strong build from Bob Tresh here, and if you wanted to make this a non-DLC build, you just replace this red crest with the another unit of Saurus, obviously, right? And then all of a sudden, this is an all vanilla build. Yeah, the low model count cav's not so bad. Like, they can generate some okay value shooting at them too, but they take time. It takes time for them to use their ammunition. GG's, right? Happy Puppy just wanted to have fun. It's true. It's a fun pick. Definitely not a competitive pick. You can get away with using one, though, in certain competitive builds, I would say. Let's switch over to Eshin, and next up we've got Killerinu. Oh yeah, still one. She's people's champion for today, for sure. Yeah, so you can keep using the same army, but you're not allowed to issue bans, right? So the way it works is the sitting king can pick a ban. They can pick a new faction, like a faction they haven't used yet, and they get 2 bans. Or if you want to stay the same faction, you get no bans, so people can counterpick you with whatever they want. So we've had some streams in the past where, like, Hadriz, for example, went the whole table, just the whole time, just with Skaven, dominated everyone. Like, Skaven, no bans, just all comers, let's go. Even, like, vampire counts, you know, he had some interesting games on that one. Last time, too, Happy Puppy with Khalida went, like, 4 games, I think, in a row with Khalida, Tomb Kings, just like, yep, no bans, let's do it. Like Bob Tresh here, Lisbon is also a faction that I would probably be comfortable going no bans with. Skaven and Coast are maybe going to be tough, but... So if you just wanted to run High Elves all day, you could. You just won't get any bans, so you could potentially face, you know, like Greenskins or whatever you think is a counter of High Elves. It's true. It's all good, Happy Puppy. To be honest, a double Medusa build, I don't know. That's going to be tough to make work. Yeah, see, like here, Bob Tresh is going to stay Lizardman, no bans. So Killerinu can take whatever. Oh, Mirror? Oh, no, just checking the faction, making sure they don't have anything different. Going to switch over to Bretonia. Yeah, pat on the back, Happy Puppy. That was awesome, though. I love those Hellebron builds. I could see that potentially working against Bretonia. I would wonder if you wouldn't want to put one of the Medusa on the cart, just because the cart has more armor, and it's a little harder for Bretonia to kill. I mean, granted, I think they are more mobile off the cart, if I remember right, but... Yeah. You could even take the ROR also against Bretonia with the AoE ability. If it gets caught out by knights, then you can use that to kind of bunker bust a blob. Try saying that 5 times fast. Yeah, that was a great build versus Bretonia. I like that a lot. Hellebron, I think, is a stealth very good pick there. And I noticed you didn't bring the magic resistance item with her. I think it's definitely a must pick against Bretonia with all their magic damage. And yeah, it was a good build though. Hey, what's up, Rubber Duck of War? Oh, you picked who? It's all good, Davina. Imagine becoming less mobile when using a mount, right? Oh, man. Medusas with Witch Elves is pretty good. I actually really like... so I would probably run 1 Medusa and, like, 2 Manticores, like, lots of Dark Riders, Hellebron with a Master together, plus a Caster, whatever you want, you know, to pick your poison. And then... Yeah, just like a wide cav build with a bunch of spear support, and especially like a lot of light cavalry. But Doomfire Warlocks especially, they have good weapon strength, but they really don't have the best attack. With Hellebron's buff, they get a lot stronger. That's all good. I mean, you still ended up winning that game, but I was surprised. Definitely something I think, because especially with the Master, right? If you have Guardian plus the magic resistance item, then essentially she has like 15% damage resistance, which is pretty good considering she's so squishy. Yeah, I think I agree, Happy Puppy. You didn't have enough to protect. Like, you just didn't have enough numbers there. Yeah. You could trade the bolt throwers out for just some more cav support, maybe. Or even just go even wider with infantry. I don't know. There's not really a lot of infantry that's going to help you, per se, but... Yeah. Yeah, hadn't really tried it since the Master came out, and then I tried it. I was like, oh, this is pretty solid. Like, especially because he's anti-large, and both of them are pretty strong combatants, right? So they can kind of act as a goon squad together. And he's anti-large AP, plus you can have the AoE item as well if you want to give them both more melee attack. And I think it even gives armor too, which is nice. I'd have to remember. I don't know. I don't remember 100%. I am not Red Spotted Drake. No, I'm just getting people hyped, just pre-streaming a little bit. I was thinking I might do a watch-along as well if it's cool with Turin, but I wanted to ask him first. Cool. You guys are both ready? We are moving today. Yeah, I didn't enter the ECL this year, any of the qualifiers. Or not this year, but this season, rather. Well, Blackthorn, you could always, watch on your phone while you play. There's an idea. I know a lot of people watch while they play. Quite a few. But, oh, nice. Killerinu, taking a page out of Happy Puppy's book, also taking the classy Hargoneth faction, but she's just got a Supreme Sorceress Lore of Beasts, Fear Spears, Blackguard of Nagaron, some Witch Elves, Dark Shards, yeah, more Blackguard here, Cold One Knights, and Scourge Runner Chariots against Rock Gar's Zerds. A Slan of Light on his chair. Instead of Krokgar, though, we've got a Skink Priest of Beasts on the Engine of the Gods. Nice. You don't see this thing often enough, in my opinion, but it does have this 5% damage resistance, which is not a lot. Doesn't seem like a lot, at least, but on these higher HP monsters, it actually is there. Also gives you more power recharge rate, and of course, this orbital bombardment strike, if you can get it to go off, is quite strong. Got Lizard, Cav, Saurus, Sword of Sotek, basically the same build, more or less, but just with Krokgar's faction and with a Light Slot instead of Masamundi. So we'll see if it ends up being as effective. Oh, and also no solar engines, duh. We just got a Beast Priest instead with his Orbital Laser. So cool.
Death to the servants of the old ones.
Alt tab and play between matches. There we go. Yeah, see Red Spotted Drake. I do that quite often. Play some campaign and watch at the same time. Good. Let's see what's going on. What can they do? This nice wide skink skirmish line. A couple skink skirmishers, 3 of them are chameleons. This Dark Elves build's pretty solid. I mean, it's just kind of got a lot of bases covered. I do think it could be potentially tough to protect those Dark Shards, though. I'm a little worried about if he's going to have enough power to really finish the Skink Priest of Beast there. Because there's not that much anti-large AP, like just these Scourge Runners, really, in the Cold One Knights. I mean, maybe the Dark Shards could try, but it's just narrow, a little narrow. A lot of ranged units to try and protect. Dude, Gelt's campaign, you just get steamrolled by the Greenskins if you don't, like, build up a power base quick enough. It's actually really hard. The wall's very, very real. I'm gonna be bringing back my tank campaign soon, probably tomorrow. I think I might do both Crusader Kings and that tomorrow, potentially. We'll see. I will have some day job work I have to get to. I've been just going part-time there now. They have a few things they need me to do, but anyway. Cold One Knight's going to get a nice charge in here. The skirmishers pull back. Javelins are going to eat it to the face, though. No, do they at least get their volleys off? A couple of their volleys. I hear Manticore summon being pulled. That's probably going to go after the Beast Caster so that it can't summon its Manticores. But yeah, you can see here what I'm talking about in terms of the just getting outmaneuvered. There's just so much. in terms of lizard stuff. Like these dark shards really ought to be focusing the skink priest though. I mean, that is absolutely the most important target for them. Decent cav counterplay over here though, as these Cold One Riders come in for some sustained combat. Likewise, I do really think you need these Scourge Runner chariots to be focusing the skink priest here. I think just everything really. This is the most high value target. Besides the Slon. Speaking of Slon though, he is getting gooned by one of the Manticores. These Cold One Riders also come in, get a nice round on the Manticore, but then they get recharged by the Dark Riders, so some nice back and forth there. Decently even so far. The skink is maybe going to do a lot of damage here though to the Supreme Sorceress. She's got to be careful, and right now these Blackguard are just getting pounded very cost effectively by the Cohort of Sotek and all this Overwatch fire, and if he loses the Witch Elves before getting the Enrage, oh no! Oh man, here it comes. Ooh, just roast through the Cohort of Sotek. Does manage to get a bunch of those Blackguard as well, just wipes them out. Leads to the Witch Elves actually getting terrified. I would also run in terror from that, to be honest. But another Manticore summoned up here. The Supreme Sorceress really has got to get out of dodge, though. She's got to disengage here. There's a Manticore being summoned up by the Skink Priest, and she's now going to get double teamed, it looks like. Most likely Banishment in the back line going after these other dark... not Dark Shards. Well, yeah, the Dark Shards getting killed by a Manticore, but a nice Banishment there on those Blackguard. And that looks like a pretty decisive, quick Lizard win there. Very, very strong build, I have to say. That was a nice orbital bombardment, too. You don't always see it get good contact, but... "10 Black Knights." Oh, man. Yeah, Yelp. Just coming, having the vampires come in the side. It's tough. Definitely tough. So the snipe attempt almost worked on the Light Slon, but ended up dedicating a lot of resources to it. And that skink chief, just nasty, absolutely nasty. I mean, that being said, these Dark Shards do still have a good amount of ammo, so if they could actually focus fire here on these Blackguard, it looks like they might be in a control group, which is why they're kind of firing at different targets there. If you get them in just a regular group, they'll just fire, you know, focus fire there appropriately, but the Slon does actually go down here. He gets terrified by the Manticore as it is degenerated there, but also the Scourge Runner chariots managed to do a little bit of damage. I think it's probably going to come back though, and at this point it's looking like army losses for the Dark Elves, with the Skinks catching up with the Dark Shards. Dark Shards can't get away. They're slower than Skinks anyway, but especially with the poison on the missiles. Really just the Scourge Runner chariots that remain. Scourge Runners, no, not anymore. They used to be able to pretty effectively, but now the fact that the Chameleon Skinks, like, the poison contact effect makes quite a bit of difference. Like, yes, they will still get in contact, but the Lizard Cavalry can then countercharge in, and because of the speed differential of the poison, sometimes you can't get away from the Lizard Cavalry in time, so, yeah. It's just a strong build in general. Another nice orbital bombardment here. Those Blackguard do manage to disengage, and it hits mostly Skinks, which is fine. That Blackguard doing their best here, as are the Scourge Runners, but once the Scourge Runners run out of ammo, that balance of power is going to start to tilt, because their value would have been used. And a nice overcast net there. Oh no! The Slon just blew himself up! He fully blew himself up right there, just like, nope, I'm out of here. That's hilarious. The Slon fully detonates, and now it's up to the Skink Priest, who definitely can do it. Finite Fighters, it's a play on Eternal Challengers, you know, because Finite is like the opposite of Eternal, and Fighters is kind of like Challengers. Yeah, it's dumb, I know. It's a play on the Eternal Challenger League happening later today, of course, hosted by Turin. Everyone knows, right? Yeah, the Chameleons are tough to counter in this matchup. They're tough to counter in this matchup because now they're a lot harder to catch for Dark Elves, and like the units you do have that can catch them, like these chariots probably could, but since they had other things to do, and I don't know, they're kind of taking a little bit of a passive stance, to be honest. It was tough, and it's a small build too. I think the Dark Shards were a rough pick. I mean, if they had been used correctly, they could have probably done quite a bit of focus on that Skink Priest, and it maybe would have made the difference. But it was just a kind of a small build to try and protect them. The Blackguard, Yeah. Blackguard are an interesting one. Let's see. We can probably get King of the Dead in here. We've got plenty of time still. Yeah, we still got plenty of time, actually. Alright, King of the Dead is coming. Awesome stuff. GG. GG, man. First one to go multiple games today. Bob Tresh. Probably am gonna not be able to unsee his army now, so let's get the Danced Warzag army blocker up. Oh yeah. And we need some music for that. Belgian standoff. Oh yeah. Yeah, we could potentially get you in. I was planning on going right up until turn started, basically, more or less, and maybe even... Oh, maybe I'll take a break, actually, like 10 minutes before. Just restart the stream. I should also probably ask him real quick. It's cool if I have a watch along. I'm going to mute myself so you guys don't have to listen to my keyboard, but I'll be right back. Right now, the list is open, actually. King of the Dead was the last one I had on the list, so... Yeah, if anybody wants to join... no. No, Bob, it's not. But yeah, if anybody would like to join, feel free. We got space. Got plenty of space. Oh, you want me to remove Dancing Warzag for just a sec? Oh, okay, I see, okay. Well, alright. Thanks, Warzag. Yes, this is amazing. The horny horned ones. I love it. Or is that Krokgar? That's Krokgar. They're not even horny horned ones. Yeah, sure, Blackthorn. Just if you want to check out the rules, we do use just standard banner rules. And yeah, the picking and ban system you've probably seen now. It's the king, quote unquote, either can stay the same faction with no bans or pick a new faction and double ban. Oh no! Bob Tresh has got to run. Alright, well, yeah. Well, I guess we could get our previous champer in then. Champion in then. Who did we have? It was... yeah, it was Happy Puppy. Well, Happy Puppy's around still if she wants to jump back in. Dang it, Bob. Yeah, I just shot a message to Happy Puppy, see if she wants to join back. We'll see. Okay, she said she's available in 5 minutes, so we'll probably get Blackthorn in the meantime and then have her after. I probably need to get my friend code. Yeah. Oh, no, just kidding. She's available now. Oh, I'm... Yeah. We can still probably get you in, Black Knight, because, yeah, we've got still an hour and 45, depending on how long this takes. Oh, yeah. Get Wurzag jamming. Yeah, King of the Dead's a pretty experienced player, too. He's no slouch. Okay, let me go ahead and get the friend code then. Let's do this. Cool, there's that. Okay, no, just kidding. Happy Puppy. Well, whoever makes it first. It's all good. We're just chilling today, no big deal. Just hanging out. Jay Phoenix also streaming some tournament action on Twitch. Doing some thematic stuff. He's got a bunch of people hanging out there. I don't even remember who's in the ECL today. Handsome Squidward. Oh yeah, you know he's just got like the cleft chin, like the... Oh yeah, Handsome Squidward. He actually, the mask is literally his face. I mean, that is his face. It is known. We just been on the pre-stream music the whole time. We can switch over to this one, I guess. Yeah. This is the way. Oh yeah, Yeah, exactly. It's takes time to pick your army. You know, do the army picking, like the armies. Yeah, you know what I mean. Picks and bans, and then actually selecting your units and everything takes some time, right? So. Oh yeah, sorry, just getting distracted by something over here. Nice, looks like Blackthorn's in. So now you can start said process of army selection and so on. Cool, cool. He's in. That's done there. Ah. Yeah, Grom the Paunch is, gotcha, huh? We'll have King pick and double ban here. We'll have him do the thing there. And Blackthorn can then try and counterpick him. I'm obviously expecting Undead, but hopefully King of the Dead does something, you know, interesting. Oh, yeah, Undead are hilarious. By the way, I probably should have Streamlabs open also, in case anyone else chooses to very generously contribute. Oh, yeah. Let's see what they got. Let's see what he can do. King of the Dead, definitely a very strong player. Norska, okay. Alright, so picks Norska. Let's check on the bans. Coast and Counts. Nice. Yes. Ban Undead. That makes me happy. Maybe King of the Dead is not the worst. I'm just kidding. He's actually a super good dude. Just, you know, I gotta give him crap because Undead are the worst. That's also a little bit of a meme, but just, yeah, crumbling the thing. Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh, I think changing the map might have crashed my game. Uh-oh. Yep, I think I'm gonna need to restart. No! Yep, okay, that's fine. We will jump back in, no problem. Spectator mode needs some bug fixing. It's fine. It works well enough. I'm hoping for some things like better spectator mode in Game 3. Gives you like Winds of Magic and ability cooldowns and stuff. But anyway, let's go ahead and jump back in. Warzag, just jamming with the beats. Absolutely thugging. Okay, I'm back. Okay, just get the map pick and everything. Let's see. It looks like Blackthorn probably sticking with Lizardman. Hopefully not the host. Uh-oh. Yeah, King of the Dead is the host, it looks like right now. No worries, Happy Puppy. I saw you were in Jay Phoenix's shindig. No worries, all good. All good. We can get you in the next one if you want, though. That's funny. How long until the ECL? We've got about an hour and a half until the ECL starts. Oh yeah, just taking a look at some discussion stuff happening over here. Yeah, we'll still be going. I'm probably going to stop like maybe 10, 15 minutes before it starts to take a break, make myself a little breakfast. Did better than expected in the quiz. Nice, good job. Congratulations. I love it. I love Wurzag's energy. It's so strong. He is a true OG. Speaking of which, thank you, Wurzag. We are now in the battle. Well, loaded in at least. Let's have a look at some builds. King of the Dead rocking the Norska versus Lizardman. Throg. Very decent pick in this matchup. Can kind of get blasted by Hand of the Gods. I've seen that before, but he's here. We got a Skinwolf Werekin. Some champs, Marauder champs, javelins in a second line, and ice trolls. That's a interesting pick. They are very weak to fire. Metal sorcerer for the caster. Doggos out front. For lizards, we do have Krokar indeed. Skink Priest, Lord of Heavens up in the air. Saurus Spears, not a terrible pick here, but they will lose to champs, definitely. I've also got some ranked up Cold One Spear Riders and Umbral Tide. They should be very good if they can get in a position to take out Throg. Hounds will be able to kind of pressure them, force them to reposition. Is one of these the Beast of Tashnar? It is. So they do have a bit of anti-large potential as well there. I forget how much their bonus versus large is. It's relatively low, but they do also have Frenzy. Plus 14, actually. That's not bad at all, considering they have 60 unit models. Just the finals. Yep. Just the finals. Yeah, today's the round of 8. There we go. I was going to say, I think he's breaking it up so that it's like a round of 8 and then the grand final. Because otherwise it takes a super long time. But I like the pick of the Shielded Champs here. Shielded Champs, very good against Lizardmen. They beat pretty much all Lizardmen infantry. They'll even trade well against Temple Guard because they have good defense and they do enough weapon damage. 39 is not amazing for a unit in this price range, but it's good enough. Mostly just their defensive stats. 53 defense, 80 armor. Pretty solid in comparison to Saurus. Nice. Yeah, it's a fun one. It's always a highlight. The finals especially. So, you know, we're in for some good games. They're off. The Ice Trolls rush. Coming forward here. Not any artillery to pressure, but these Umbral Tide are going to be very, very important to take out all these Ice Trolls. Does Krokar have Hand of the Gods? He does, and he could choose to blast the Ice Trolls with it. It will kill a few models, or he could blast Throg or the Skinwolf Werekin. Probably Throg is going to be your best bet in terms of blasting, but Krokar's got to be careful. He can't just run in here all by himself, YOLO style. Take a lot of damage that way. It looks like he's going to be pulling away there, screening with the Skinks a little bit. Hand of the Gods does come in, blast Throg for a decent amount of damage, but will not be too much. He'll be able to regenerate most of that back, but it does help to start to chew at his healing cap in case the battle turns into a bit of an attrition fight. All the ice units got to be careful though. These Umbral Tide will absolutely shred them. So yeah, you can see King of the Dead repositioning there, not just running straight in. The Beasts of Tashnar, these Warhounds, try and get in to just go after the Umbral Tide there, but they are going to take a blast to the face, probably get screened out by Overwatch Skink missiles. I'm not too worried about these Saurus in terms of how fast they'll die. A nice Wind Blast gets those Javelin Hunters there. Javelin Hunters are also a danger to these Umbral Tide, but it looks like the Beasts of Tashnar actually do make contact there. They're going to do a solid amount of HP damage, but they will get routed very quickly. I mean, they aren't just hounds still, after all. But here comes Krokar. Oh, careful, Krokar. This is a very dangerous situation to dive into. He gets an Overcast Plague of Rust, and now both Throg and the Werekin working on him. The Javelins also turn their attention over there. Umbral Tide, meanwhile, is going after these Ice Trolls, but it's a little bit of a kind of misdirection play. Krokar takes a ton of damage very, very quickly from the Javelins and from Throg and everything else, and he needs to pull out of that engagement, which he does look like he's going to be able to get away there. Umbral Tide could come in here and try and focus Throg potentially along with the Javelins. They might actually be able to finish his leadership, in which case Krokar could probably chase him off. But here, nice rear charge with the Cold One Spear Riders, actually breaks the Ice Trolls. Nice job as well with the Umbral Tide, just blowing up, honestly, whatever targets present themselves. Javelins are also going to be pretty impactful here, so that's not a bad play either. A really nice Wind Blast through the side of those Javelins, also doing some damage, so pretty nice back and forth so far. Oh, nice Searing Doom, though. Does kill quite a few models there. Ends up routing the Norscan Warhounds, but there's only 11 models left for that hunting pack, which might not be enough to finish off all of these regenerating ice units. Like, the Ice Trolls here getting routed, but they're probably going to come back. The Skink Javelins moving up. They should probably engage the Marauder Javelins since they're almost out of ammo. The Skinks are almost out of ammo, that is, but right now, Javelin presence is still pretty online for the most part, and the fire, the literal fire, has kind of been spread around a little bit. And here, unfortunately, Umbral Tide do get caught up on some champs, and then they're going to get rear charged by the, what are they? Beasts of Tashnar. I keep forgetting their name. Anyway, another really nice Wind Blast here. It's just going to be tough to kill all these, kind of regenerating units at this point without that fire. Really, Krokar, not a strong enough combatant, unfortunately, without really nice support and healing. He can't really get access to great healing anyway, but here he might dive in, try and take out some of these champs. He does, it looks like he's lining up another Hand of the Gods to blast Throg. Oh man, gets him down below 1,000 HP. Will it be enough then to rout him? It looks like he does pop Wintertooth Crown to make himself unbreakable. Skink Priest dives down, not realizing, and yeah, the Skink Priest has got to get out of here immediately. Looks like he takes a big hit. Plague of Rust on Krokar. The Javelins also come in. And I think that's all she wrote. That is going to be a victory for Norska, but credit to Blackthorn here, playing a very good player, and he had some solid plays there. I think maybe just focusing Throg a little bit more with the Umbral Tide, and if he could have actually broken him and then chased him off with Throgar, or even killed him, that would have been enough, probably. I mean, it's not over yet. Krokar's still fighting here. Throg's barely alive, and it looks like these trolls got terror routed while Krokar was still there, right? So he can try and fight his best as long as he waits till that Plague of Rust wears off. It's up to 700 weapon strength, though, with Deadly Onslaught going. Man, Krokar is a very strong combatant. It's too bad you can't take him with healing. I mean, I guess you can kind of with the Rev Crystal, but it's really not very efficient. He does use Cold-Blooded on himself to just kind of pull these units away here, but at this point, it's going to start to tilt more and more as these ice units regenerate, as the trolls regenerate. The balance of power will start to tip more and more, and it looks like that is army losses, but nice job by Blackthorn. Saurus Spears are a trap. Yeah, they're not good. No, Saurus Spears are only good against Bretonnia. Just take normal Saurus. Normal Saurus can fill in for Temple Guards. Better than Saurus Spears in many aspects. Like, actually, I think if Blackthorn would have brought regular Saurus instead of the Spears, I don't know, the Spears ended up being kind of an interesting pick here, and maybe against Norska you do end up picking them, but I don't know. I just think regular Saurus are almost always going to be a better option. Yeah, solid stuff. Cool. Looks like Get It Mule's also wanting to jump in. So hey, it was a good attempt, Blackthorn. It was a good attempt. It was a fun game for sure. Unfortunately, getting Croc Argooned there, I think, cost you a little bit. But I love to play with the Umbral Tide. They were getting some work done. King of the Dead's a very good player, so don't feel bad at all about it. Yeah, Temple Guards are king in this matchup. It's true. Temple Guards are very good. I even like Foot Croc Guard too, because he's like a halberd Foot Lord, right? At that point, he can still use Hand of the Gods to blast. He doesn't have a lot less HP, but he can fight, you know, Throg or Wolfric without being large himself, which does make a difference in certain aspects. So good stuff. Well played, well played. Let's go ahead and get the music going again. Sorry about that. And Get It Mule should be jumping in shortly. Cool. I think I'm also going to go grab a drink of water, guys. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. It's like Get It Mule's getting his game launched. Alright. Got Black on deck. Cool. Get the map pick directed as well, and we are off. Dude. You need to go, King of the Dead? Or are you good? Cool, cool. Thanks for coming out today, everyone. Got a decent amount of people watching today. Eating the dino flesh. Oh man, yeah, Throg probably would. Alright, alright. These guys are gonna get their picks. Okay, map has been switched. Storm Demon it is. Change your name and then come back. There we go. Go ahead, Bob Tresh, go ahead. That's fine with me. Lizards are a fun faction. They're an interesting one. People kind of just think of them as the monster faction, which they definitely are the best monster faction right now. But yeah, they can do a lot of things. They can do a surprising amount of things. Get a Mule's probably going to stick Skaven, it seems. Cool, cool. Picks are locked. It will be Norska versus Skaven. Skaven's an interesting one for Norska. Skaven definitely has the advantage here, I would say, in my opinion. But Skinwolves are a thing. Definitely Skinwolves are a thing. It's basically like, can you kill the Skinwolves or not? Because you don't have any real fire damage. I mean, yes, you technically have Warp Fire Throwers, but they're not good against monstrous infantry. They're just not amazing units in general. Norska's a better monster faction, King of the Dead. Well, Lizards have healing. Like, just, they have monster artillery too, which Norska does not even have. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and get this then. Cool, while they're getting their picks locked, I will switch this. Get the next person lined up. Whoops, not that. There we go. Cool, alright. Pew pew. Haha, there we go. Lizards don't have a regenerating monster. You don't need a regenerating monster because you have healing. Also, doesn't make you weak to fire damage, so there you go. Yeah, Tehenowin. I like him. I like Tehenowin quite a bit, actually. I think he's pretty underrated. But again, he's not a healing Slann, so you don't see him as much as the healing Slanns. Either High Slann, Mazdamundi, or Life Slann, I would say, are probably the most common picks. You see the Saurus Old Blood, decent amount as well. I actually really like the Croxigor Ancient, too. He's a very cost-effective lord in certain matchups. Yeah, I like Tehenowin, though, for like Cav support. If you're trying to run an ultra-wide Cav build, Manticore summons too, very strong. He's just not great in the air, and his Stegodon's okay, but I mean, you can't heal it, and it is a pretty big target, so it's tough in some matchups. But like on the Horned one, he's pretty solid. That's true, Bob Tresh, exactly. Like, Norska's the best monster hunting faction. I'll agree with that. But Lizardmen, like, it's just strictly the monsters themselves have the best monsters. Anyway, let's go ahead and fade the music out. Thanks once again, Wurzag, for your contribution, dancing for everyone. let's see here. We've got Wolfric on a chariot. Very nice pick. We've also got Marauder chariots. So all in with the chariots. Solid against the Skaven. Bunch of skin wolves. We've got a War Shrine Mammoth for that sweet fire damage. Fire damage on the skin wolves, if they're matched up against this Hell Pit right here, will be great. Looks like, yeah, Get It Mule did bring the Teeth Breakers here. ROR Rattling Guns. Interesting. We've got Skaven Slaves. Poison Wind Mortars as well. Council Guard. Tail Slashers. We've got a Bell. Plague Priest Bell. Very strong. And it looks like a Master Assassin up front. Interesting. With a bunch of Gutter Runners? Yeah, Poison Gutter Runners. You don't see this very often anymore. 2 non-poison gutter runners on this side. Night runners, non-poison gutter runners on this side. 2 gutters with poison on this side. Though also keep in mind that the Master Assassin does have poison missiles as well. Yeah, Rev Crystal does heal, but it's slow. Exactly, on cooldown. Yeah. Yeah, 60 seconds for a 600 HP heal, exactly. It's not really super efficient, unless you're stacking it on top of another heal, because then you can heal models potentially on a multi-model unit, like if you're using like it in conjunction with either Lore of Life or High Magic. Lore of Life's probably more efficient, but like if you hit like a, you know, ROR Temple Guards, let's say, if you have them, you hit them with a Regrowth, and also hit them with the Rev Crystal, then potentially they can get some models back, because usually the Rev Crystal doesn't heal enough HP to actually resurrect models. But, yeah, Gutter Runners do need a price reduction. I agree with that. Definitely agree with that. Let's see how the Chariots do, though, against this. This squad is going to be in a little bit of trouble because of the Chariot speed, but the Teeth Breakers are coming out here to try and get into a position to fire. They also have to be careful not to get too close, though, because, I mean, they're kind of out here exposed away from everything. Like, all the rest of this stuff really needs to come forward. Yeah, these Teeth Breakers are going to get wrecked here. Not a good situation. Not a great situation for the Master Assassin either, but nice. Looks like the Looming Dread does go down on Wolfric. He starts to get hit by the Suppression and the Teeth Breakers. Unfortunately, Teeth Breakers are going to get charged by the Doggos, though, at this point. The Skin Wolves. And that's a really high-value unit, lost potentially already. I mean, I say lost potentially because they are going to try and get away here. The Gutter Runners honestly probably could go in melee and hit the Skin Wolves there and try and do that. But looks like Wolfric's getting good contact on the Master Assassin with his Chariot. The Hell Pit Abomination comes out at this point to bail him out. Ooh, nice Burning Head, though, is going to rip across the Council Guard, and the Tail Slashers will have some resistance to that, but nice. The Teeth Breakers do eventually open up here on Wolfric as he kind of gets caught out, and look at this Chariot just getting multi-gatted by the Gutter Runners there. That's actually really nice damage. The Wind spell does go off, though. Next Wind spell. Wolfric's Boat going to come in and do some damage to that line. Man, just rips those Tail Slashers, too. But Wolfric's almost dead at this point, so how much will it end up mattering? I'm not really sure. The Teeth Breakers definitely paid for themselves with that alone. But the Gutter Runner squad going to try and pull away now. Unfortunately, the Hell Pit did get caught out here by the Beasts of Tashnar, and you can see that immediately these Skin Wolves are going to switch over there. The Gutter Runners definitely want to stay in a position to support, but at this point, the Plague Priest definitely engaged in the front line. These, unfortunately, the Clan Rats just rout without ever getting into combat, but with the Mortar kind of providing some DPS. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, this Burning Head. Oh, that's so painful. That was a lot of damage there on those Gutter Runners, getting way over blobbed. Granted, the Hell Pit Abomination can maybe try and stabilize a little bit here. Looks like the ability has been used there, the Rival Hide Talisman. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to save this Hell Pit, though. And man, oh man, that Burning Head, it's so much damage. The Mammoth in the front line, too, engaging the Plague Priest there. Not going to be great for Skaven. And yeah, also now this Master Assassin getting caught out with the Hell Pit Abomination. Skinwolf's very good against Hell Pits. It's kind of both units are sort of good against each other, but in a situation like this where the Skinwolves can get a clean surround, will be pretty nasty. There are still a lot of units holding out over here, but Poison Wind Mortar's getting inundated now. The Marauders did get pounded, but Wulfric's back at this point from the snipe attempt, and yeah, unfortunately, Get Mule just getting a little bit caught out of position a couple times here. Deep Breakers have rallied. Looks like my internet connection. Oh, someone's internet. Probably King of the Dead. Let's be real. Connection's starting to fall apart a little bit, as is the Skaven army. Yeah, the Master Assassin's a fun pick here, but he is very vulnerable because he can get caught by Wulfric and by these other characters and such. Yeah. It's a fun one. The Hellpit does get a healing proc there, though, instead of fully dying, and how the Teeth Breakers are now in range to start shooting, they can apply that. Oh no, but it just straight up shattered there. That's rough. Hellpit Abomination just shatters. The Plague Priest getting wrecked by the Mammoth. The Mammoth's already got an XP chevron from that. Yeah, I think Get-A-Mule had a nice idea here, I think, but it's tough to protect. You need to have some Rat Ogres to protect against all of this. Honestly, I think probably Snitch would have been a better pick, too, because you can pin the Chariot Lord down with, like, you can pin Wulfric down and snipe him with the ability there. Deathmaster Sigil, that's it. It was a good game, though. It was a good game. King of the Dead taking no mercy this morning. Cool, cool. Cool. Yeah, it was a nice attempt by Get It Mule, but I just think yeah, Master Assassin's a little bit of a risky pick. Getting the Hell Pit out of position was a rough play too. If that was in the front line helping against the Mammoth, that maybe could have been different there. But it's just it's a lot of missile units to try and protect. That's maybe too many. I mean, I get what you're doing with the suppression and the poison to try and control enemies' movements, but yeah, it's just tough. Teeth Breakers they're good. We saw there they can rip apart units pretty quick. So maybe honestly you cut the mortars, as heresy as that is. Although to be honest, like mortars plus the plague drain is an okay way of dealing with skin wolves. So yeah. GG, Get Up Mule. Oh, 10 minutes. No problem. No problem. We can just hang out. Just hang out in the meantime. I don't know how long ago you sent that, but... yeah, we can have someone else jump in for a minute. Unless King of the Dead needs to go. Yeah, we'll get Bob Tresh in here. Since he had to step away from his streak earlier, it'll be appropriate for him to have to finally face King of the Dead. No worries, no worries. All good. Yeah, speaking of lunch, I need to get some food in me as well. Probably gonna end, well, maybe I'll end like 30 minutes before so I can have time to like cook some bacon and stuff. But if Turin approves, then we'll be back with the watch-along stream. If not, then I'll just be hanging out on his stream. But probably what we'll be doing is some very relaxed Crusader Kings gameplay, or maybe I'll keep going with my tank campaign. I don't know. What would you guys like to do? Because I want to have something going on screen for people to watch, even though it's mostly going to be like meant to be listened to while watching. Yeah, I'll go ahead and rehost so we can get King of the Dead in here. Let me go ahead and throw this back up. Wild Dance and Wurzag. Okay. Get both these lads in here. Oh man, I have a lot of friends on this list. A lot of friends. Okay, he's in. Really wish they would organize this somehow. Wow, I'm not going to be able to find him. Okay, let's just do it from Steam. Actually, do I not have you on my friends list, Bob? There we go. All right. We are in now. Let me get the next map lined up. What do we want to do today? What do we want to do? Let's see. Central Chaos Waste. Haven't done that one for a while. All right. Oh boy, another Lizardman versus Norska showdown, potentially? Why do you hear boss music? Ah, that's a good question. I'll probably have time for like 1 or 2 more games after this. So fun stuff. Thanks everybody for coming out this morning, by the way. You guys are awesome. Been a lot of fun. I'm super stoked for the ECL, man. It's going to be a good time. Sunday, fun day, as they say. Alright, just getting distracted over here, sorry. Give me just a second. All right. Hopefully you guys are doing well this morning. Yeah, I'm currently painting a steam tank with the little bit of spare time that I have. So I got a picture up on Twitter, for those of you guys interested. It's coming along. We got a lot of the metal and the wood stuff painted last time around, me and my brother. And yeah. Yes, it is a tiny squig. Yep, that is the squiggly beast. So you know how he has the item? That's I think it's a magic recharge item, right? Or no, am I thinking of something else? I don't know, but yes, that's his pet. Anyway, yeah, the steam tank, it will be along shortly. I gotta get the actual heraldry painted up still, and some of the like gold leafing, and then get it all glued together. But it's looking nice. I had no idea how detailed steam tanks were on the inside. They really thought of everything. Like, how does this actually work, kind of? Mm-hmm. All right. Interpretive dancer, pet owner, mask crafter. Yeah, dude, he is He is a new age kind of orc, you know? He is a renaissance orc, if you will. He can do it all. Arts, science, warfare, magic, like literal, actual magic. And nothing he can't do. Except, you know, fight a high tier lord in melee. Anyway, thanks so much, Warzag. Thanks for jamming out again. We're here now in the Central Chaos Waste, one of my favorite maps. Got this kind of hill. One player does start a little bit more up the slope, like you can actually, especially Vanguard, like right up at the top, but a lot of people end up playing kind of out in the open right here. There is a slight bit of impassable cliff on this side of the hill, so a lot of people will kind of push up and set up next to this hill, but there are some woods. And yes, this doesn't look like woods, but this little ugly scrub technically counts as woods. You can hide a lot of units in it. You can actually see, I don't know how it's probably pretty easy for you guys to see on stream, like the ground effect, like between this rock right here and the like quote-unquote forest. Anywhere in this kind of like ugly scrub grass technically will count as forest, and you can hide there. It's kind of interesting. It's like all these little, like this right here. I think you can hide in this. There's not even a tree there, but I think it technically counts as forest. Or like over here, I've hidden an ancient tree man. I think in this tiny little patch right here. Yeah, this patch right here, you can hide an ancient tree man in there, and it's like he's the tallest thing. There's not even like any trees right here. It's hilarious. Oh yeah, religious leader, pillar of the community. But he's not a despot, you know. He hands power off to Grimgor and names him the leader, right? So he's not a tyrant. He's a leader, but he's not a tyrant. He delegates his authority. Oh man, look at these ugly ice trolls though. These things are nasty looking. Got like 4 eyes. Weird stuff growing out of the chin. Who is yelling? Who is that? Is that shaman sorcerer right there? There's all these bestial sounds and then just tell us how you feel, guy. Anyway, should probably talk about builds. Throg here, we've got some Javs, Ice, Trolls once again, Champs up front. So basically the same. Some Pterodon Riders immediately. I like that. Pterodon's very strong. A Chameleon, Skinks, couple of Temple Guards here with some Crocsgores in the center. 1 Solar Engine, Crocky G, Skink Priest, Lord of Beasts, and some Cold 1 Spear Riders. So, interesting stuff. As far as the drop rocks, definitely the champs are going to be the best, but you could argue that just fly over the javelins and drop rocks. That's going to be very cost-effective as well, just to try and get rid of the javelins right away. It is kind of a skill shot thing you have to pull off, but javelins, although they do a lot of damage, I don't think it'll be too impactful. But wow, yeah, the Solar Engine doesn't quite kill models there, but it does a lot of HP damage to those ice trolls. Likewise, yeah, Manticore Summon already being popped very early on to potentially try and come in and terror out some of these trolls. But the trolls, you can see how King of the Dead's kind of cycling them back and forth pretty well. Oh man, oh, here we go for the drop rocks. He's trying. He's getting into a position, but it looks like King of the Dead's actually maybe trying to outmaneuver him as well. Dodge the rocks if he can. But all this time that the Pterodons are breaking up this advance and not allowing them to, you know, just free passage through, the Solar Engine keep working down models of different things. Drop rocks, pretty good amount of damage. Probably not as much as would have liked, but it is something there. And the javelins at the very least are being disrupted. These stone trolls, or not stone trolls, ice trolls as well, getting continuously picked away at, and it looks like the Solar Engine's actually going after the javelins now. Probably a pretty good play, but yeah, unfortunately the drop rocks maybe wasn't as impactful as it should have been. I'm not 100% sure why, but yeah, it looks like the Pterodons will end up getting routed there, so that's a little bit of a rough draw. But these ice trolls now come forward. Crockguard just going to deliver a righteous hammer of justice right to the face, kills a couple of models, and immediately terror outs them. Beautiful stuff. The Temple Guard now come forward along with the Sacred Crossbows. The Crossbows are not even sacred, just regular Crossbows. They do get an Overcast Plague of Rust, so they're going to kind of hang back. Krokar also pulls back through the Temple Guard there as the Werekin engages. Looks like the Trolls are also coming forward. We do have more Pterodons still online, and other Pterodons coming back from route. Nice Solar Engine contact, getting that blinded debuff. Very strong here. Another drop rocks over on this unit of Javs. The Pterodons are not trading super cost effectively there, though, unfortunately. Looks like we're going to have another Manticore summon, and the Lizard Cav also flanking into the back line. Going to get a nice charge onto these Ice Trolls, perhaps. They would be able to probably rout them very decisively, but here in the center, big engagement. Krokar's in against Throg and the Werekin. This is really not great for him to be 2v1 here, even with the support of the Kroxgors taking out the Trolls. Not going to be amazing, but looks like the Blast is incoming. That blinded effect did catch Throg there, significantly debuffing his stats, so there's that, and the more of Firecaster also does get a pretty nice little Searing Doom on the Temple Guard, but it looks like the Manticore now pushes through, actually terrifies away some of the Trolls, and these Trolls also get terrified away by Krokar. So now Krokar pulling back around, going to re-engage here on Throg, try and get some attacks on him. Throg's still a meaty puppy, though. He's definitely not going to go down easily. Without something like the Umbral Tide to burst him down quick, Krokar is not... it'll be interesting. Right now, Throg's pulling away there. I honestly think he should probably just stand and fight with the Werekin. Between the two of them, they should be just fine. But another Plague of Rust, it looks like, on Crocky G. He's down to only 35 armor. Got to pull away there. The Manticore did eventually kill the caster. Yep, looks like it just finished off the caster there. So no more Plague of Rust. But in the meanwhile, Javelins are still online and able to toss in here. The champions, like I said, trading decently effectively against those Temple Guards. Kroxgors do rout there, but it looks like, yeah, Solar Engine's definitely making its presence felt. Let's look at the kill total. XP Chevron, almost got an XP Chevron there in terms of value. The Ice Trolls, unfortunately, are coming back, though. This is potentially a big deal. The Troll timing push, the Pterodons were only able to chase off one of the Trolls, and the rest are coming back at this point. So, yeah, Solar Engine, definitely get a hit on Throg right here, or the Werekin, either of them, to try and apply that blinded debuff, and just, you know, head to these Temple Guards, see if you can't bail them out from the champs, and just kind of stand on top of the Temple Guard, more or less. But a nice Hand of the Gods makes good contact on Throg there, quite a bit of burst damage. Krokar just chilling back for the time being. It does look like the Wolves came over to try and bail out those Trolls. The Javelins might be able to bail out the Trolls. Those Pterodons doing their best to keep Norskin units routed. At this point, things are looking a little dicey for Norska, honestly. Krokar could come in here and get a terror route, should he so choose. Wintertooth Crown, though, gets popped by Throg there, making everything unbreakable. Last of the Solar Engine shots have been used as well, so there's no more blinded debuff for Krokar to try and fight in melee. And yeah, it looks like the Pterodons will get seen off there. No, they actually don't rout, and they're continuing to chase units. That is really nice. Same thing here, chasing the units with those Pterodons. Great play. So Bob definitely coming in strong here, and it looks like Terror kicks in for Norska. A bunch of these units are going to Terror rout, including the Trolls. The Temple Guard still holding out strong. The Distillodon comes in with even more Terror, and a nice rear charge with these Cold One Riders to kind of get a little bit of a surround here on Throg. Chameleon Skinks also poisoning in melee, so really not a great situation for Throg. The Javelins trying to finish off the last of these Pterodons, but they come down and do actually get into melee there. So it's pretty close, but it looks like Bob's in a decent position here. Obviously, there's still a lot of regenerating units that could come back, but the Terror will be a pretty strong mechanic at this point, and Krokar gets a big hit on Throg right there. Block of Doom doing a tiny bit of chip damage on these champs, especially is nice. The champs holding out like champs, but now going down, and here come the Spear Riders again, charging Throg. Probably should target those after these... the Ice Trolls, honestly. But Throg actually does get routed from that there, and now Krokar can potentially come in and get a rear charge, route these Trolls here. No, instead he chooses to go after the champs there. There is still almost a full health unit of just basic Marauders here, but they're really not going to do too much. But yeah, you got to get Throg off the field for sure. So maybe detach like some of these cavalry or something else to go chase Throg off, but you really got to get rid of him fully if you want to finish things. Looks like the Skink Chief maybe is going to go chase him off. That'd be kind of hilarious, but Throg does actually come back there. He's able to regenerate some HP, and meanwhile the Pterodon's still keeping those units pressured off. These other Pterodons could come back, like use these skink cohorts as well, perhaps, but yeah, Throg trying to reunify with some of his trolls here, and with the Werekin. The Werekin being kind of a solid presence, still with a decent amount of HP left. Be nice. Unfortunately, these Marauders for King of the Dead do get completely routed, but ooh, this is dangerous for Krokar. He's in a position where he's 2v1. He did get a big hit on Throg right there, but he does not want to take this fight 2v1. Definitely wants to try and play off of the Temple Guards as much as he can, so get out of there, Krokar. Come on. Oh man, you gotta run, boy. Sacred Spawning of Zodal does give him some physical resistance. The Temple Guards are coming to his aid, as is the Bastildon. But the question is, can he get away without taking too much damage here and equalizing that balance power? It does look like the Temple Guards are able to mostly catch up at this point. And King of the Dead only has these Marauders really left. There's nothing else. He's got to attack. So here come the Javelins. They're going to come in here and just saturate the melee engagement, see if they can free up the single entities to go after Krokar. But yeah, we'll see. No ranged attacks really left for the Lizardmen, except for the fact that this Solar Engine, of course, still throwing Javelins. Nice Flock of Doom as well. It's not going to do a ton to these single entities, but every little bit of damage you can do in this type of a situation is nice. And Marauders coming in for the rear charge here. Ice Trolls are about to finish these Temple Guards. Man, the Temple Guards super, super low at this point. Krokar's really got to dive in to try and trigger some kind of terror or something. He can get a big hit on Throg here and finish him off, maybe. That would do it. Ooh, Throg is not happy. Very much not a happy camper. And yeah, Krokar actually stuck on the Werekin, not getting any attack animations right now. Going to get countercharged a little bit. But he gets an attack there finally on the Werekin. The Werekin's leadership starts to drop. Will he get terrified away? So far, Temple Guard still holding out like champs somehow. And all these Lizard forces now rallying to the cause of Krokar. I think that's going to be a GG with all of these extra units to fight on top of still. Like the Salamanders, or the Chameleons especially, doing a little bit of poison. But Krokar's about to go down here. Very, very dangerous situation for him. He now pulls away, leaving the Bastildon to do the bulk of the work there. And yeah, at this point, things are looking very, very desperate for King of the Dead. He does still have a couple of champs back here, speaking of champs. But, oh man, Krokar wanted to charge Throg right there, and I think he still does. Yep, he's going to get the charge. Oh man, Throg barely survives that. Got about 500 HP left. He gets terrified, but the Werekin now gets a rear attack on Krokar. The rest of these forces are busy dealing with the last of the champs, and they leave Krokar more or less out to dry here. Will it end up mattering, though, is the question. I mean, these healing single entities are both so low at this point, but... Oh man, Krokar going for one final charge against Throg. Oh no, Throg just headbutts him to death. Potential disaster here, but I think King of the Dead might actually be breaking the attacking rule a bit. Yeah, he's disengaging quite a bit, which is definitely not allowed. But, I mean, it's pretty far in Lizard's favor at this point anyway. All he's got to do is get some rear attack penalties and fight with the Bastildon for a bit. Get like a hit or two in here. Wintertooth Crown does pop to make everything unbreakable. Maybe, I don't know. I think Throg could potentially come back here. If a lot of these other units, besides the Bastildon right now... The Bastildon not doing any attacks here is a huge mistake, honestly. It really needs to be just doing attacks consistently against both of these guys. Yeah, there we go, though. Throg routes. I don't think the Werekin's leadership's going to hold up much. His mass also, like, he'll just get bullied hard by the Bastildon. Really doesn't have enough mass. But with Throg down and getting chased by all the Chameleons and everything, he is a goner. And King of the Dead. There we go. Pterodons now come to start to pick off. Yeah, I would peel back with the Bastildon and go fight the Werekin. I mean, the rest of these guys can chase Throg off, no problem. But yeah, something's got to kill the Werekin still, and it's got to be the Bastildon, to be honest. Throg might go down here, though, to all of this stuff. He's like just teetering right around 134, but really all it's going to take is for this Bastildon to attack the Werekin, which it seems Bob is not doing. But yeah, it's fine. We'll just wait, I guess. There we go. Bastillodon gets a nice swiping attack, and see, that's what I'm saying. The Bastillodon has enough mass, it's just going to keep bullying the Werekin, and these guys finished off Throg anyway, so there we go. Bastillodon gets it done. Javs are MVPs for sure. Carnosaur, I actually really like the throwing axes, believe it or not, too. The throwing axes will do well against Saurus Infantry. They have a little bit better attack profile, and they do technically less damage overall, but against the higher armor single entities, it's pretty strong, so... Cool, turn approved. The watch along officially, so we're going to do one more game, and then I'm going to actually hop off, and then we'll be back. I'm going to see who wants to chat. Definitely message some different people, see if we can get a call going with some peeps. But yeah, let's get last game here. We've got, I believe it's Black if he's back. If not, we can pull someone else in real quick, like Happy Puppy. GG though. GG. Cool. Looks like Happy Puppy will be joining for the watch along. Fun, fun, fun. See Golden Eagle made a big post about Hellebron. Very nice. Looks like we got Black in here. So fun stuff. It's going to be a good time today, guys. Thank you all so much again for joining. Yeah, throwing axes are much less effective against pterodons. You are right, yeah. But I often have a manticore too, which, I mean, granted, the pterodons don't really do enough damage to, like, fully kite them out. I don't know. I mean, they can, and you can chase them, but the way to zone them out for basically equal cost. Not equal cost quite, but they're close. Yeah, exactly. It's a problem against the air units, but against all of the ground units, I would say that throwing axes are pretty good. No, never take champion great weapons. Just don't. They're terrible. Their stats are awful. Yeah, their stats are very, very bad. You would think they'd be good versus Temple Guard, but they're actually not even. I mean, they would probably win, yes, but, like, because you have Plague of Rust and other armor sundering abilities, and, like, with that build, you would just have to basically replace the trolls with Famir, I think, to make it a little more competitive, although having the regeneration on the trolls is really nice. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, you want the shields, exactly. Well, I would argue that Marauder champs with great weapons, their stats are really just not great. Okay, let me go ahead and get the next map before I forget here. Not a Stallion Tomb. That one's a little small. Let's do Alangui. We haven't seen that one yet today. Oh, Alangi or something. Langi. Yeah, they perform worse than the shield ones in almost all situations. Exactly. Exactly. Let's see here. Looks like we have a few more people filtering in to the chat, but this is actually probably going to be the last game. I do want to make myself a little brekkie before we start the watch along, since that got approved. Get up, walk around for a little bit, stretch my legs, pet my cat. She's just hardcore chilling today. She was super active yesterday, like all day, just running around, needing attention. Played for her for probably like 3 hours, 4 hours, no joke. Today she's very sleepy, just chilling. They show cat. Yeah, I can post a picture on my Twitter. Unfortunately, I don't have my webcam set up right now. I should probably get that set up for the watch along though. Yeah. Yeah, well, and it's not only that they underperform for the price, it's also that, like, Norska has so much armor piercing, like, all over the roster that you really don't need your armor piercing from your infantry most of the time. Like, you have Famir, you have Mammoths, you have all these other things that do armor-piercing damage. Berserkers even just do, like, way more DPS overall. And even against certain armored infantry, they're better, I would say. Much more cost-effective. Yeah, I mean, you compare them to other great weapons in that price range, though, like, Black Orcs are definitely better, mostly because of their mass, and also they just hit harder, I think. They have more weapon strength. I don't remember. What's Champ's great weapons weapon strength? I think it's not that great. Get it? Yeah, but it's just a weird one. Like, halberds historically have been a bit of an issue. For Norska, if Champ Great Weapons had a little bit better stats, then they would actually be a viable counter for halberd builds. But right now, like, you just use your magic and shock damage, side and rear charges. Yeah. Throwing axes or jabs with Champs and Famir. Yeah, the Famir, especially because you can combo Famir, it's minus 30 armor for their armor sundering. Plus, if you stack Plague of Rust, it's an extra 60 if you overcast. So you can actually get minus 90 armor from just those two. And then, I mean, yeah, the Javelins will do a ton of damage to anything. Likewise, Hunter of Champions for Wolfric also lowers armor. So you can really stack, actually, for a character specifically, you can stack up to minus 120 armor, which means most... In fact, all Lizardman characters at that point, except maybe Mazdamundi... No, because the Stegodons only have 110 armor. Yeah, everyone would be down to 0 armor at that point. It is kind of a lot to combo together, but it's definitely something you can do. Yeah, Bestigor are really good on the charge. They're probably one of the best shock infantry units in the game, I would say. Jav cohorts are OP? No way. No way. They only have 2 volleys. How could they be OP? They're literally just skink cohorts with 2 javelins. Skinks are OP in general? No, stop. Skinks, they're fast, but their stats are actually pretty bad for the cost, and they have pretty bad leadership too. Their biggest redeeming quality is their speed. Those buggers can scoot. Goblins are OP. There we go. 4 AP per jab. It's true. It does do a lot of damage on the volleys, but it's like blasting charges. If you interrupt the volley, then it's fine. Somebody crash? A volley does hurt a lot, you're right. But it's like blasting charges, I would say. It's comparable. It does more damage to monsters, but less against infantry. Somebody failed to load in? Or somebody's just running on an actual light bright here. Oh, no, we're good. There it is. Yeah, they don't poison. They do fire damage, though, which in specific niche situations is arguably better. But yeah, they're just kind of different. They're comparable, but they're different, for sure. There's some differences there. The poison, though, whoops, and the high AP means that against, like, cav and other mobile units, like mobile monsters especially, any flying units, the javelins are very scary. A lot, Lux. I see a lot. People come in all the time with their campaign-only takes, or, you know, like something that's just blatantly wrong. It's pretty funny. The worst take, for sure, was on my Razordons video. Someone said that Razordons are chariots. Like... What? It just... Huh? I don't even know how to respond to that. Like... Razordons are... No. Just stop. And that was actually multiple people in that comment section made that same bad take too, which just blew me away. I was like, did somebody make a video a while back saying that these guys are like chariots? Because they're definitely nothing like chariots at all. Oh, yeah, that had to be the dumbest take of all time. It's still there too. If you go back and look at that video, it's still there. It's fine, though. Anyway, let's have a look at builds. We've got Imric here leading the Knights of Caledor, and yeah, solar engines are not going to do a single thing to Imric, because he, of course, has heavy magic resistance, or sorry, fire resistance. 45% fire, 25% missile, so that combined, of course, is 70% resistance overall. Some spearmen here, 1 unit of rangers, some archers, silver helms. We've got a life mage. Looks like a noble with some more silver helms over here. Some reavers out to the flank. Switching over to the lizardmen, got a high slon leading the way. Okay, so he does have the magic ability to control. It's just the solar engines aren't going to do a whole lot, but he will have Tempest. Yes, Tempest, Hand of Glory, Apotheosis, some Saurus. Yeah, Cohort of Quaddle. That's nice. Sacred Croc scores. Don't see them super often, but the Armor Sundering will be quite helpful. And oh, actually, one of them is a Bowstag. So this is a way to do some damage at a range. It's not as effective as the Steam Tank in terms of its damage, but it's pretty solid. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. Yeah. Anyway, let's see what we got here. So, Imric will have to be a little bit careful. The Stegodon shooting at him, plus the Tempest will do a decent amount of damage. And we've also got all of these Javs here that can potentially get some focus fire. But it looks like, oh man, Cold One Spear Riders kind of guessing in the vanguard there. These Illyrian Reavers, unfortunately, because of the impassable terrain, I don't think they're going to be able to get away here. Probably going to get caught there in the back. But rest of the forces are starting to move up here. Not the biggest issue. It is a decent amount of points lost right off the bat. It's about 1,000 points, give or take. But some of them might be able to get away there. Might not be a complete loss. And if he can kind of bunker bust this front line while all those units are away, that will be pretty strong. But right now, Imric's kind of hanging around, trying to stay out of range as much as possible of the High Slon. Also, he does get poisoned, you'll notice, from the Stegodon's Ballista, so it's a nice way to kind of control movements a little bit at a distance. A Laser Gore Chariot. Yes. That's all I have to say. But Silver Helm's the Noble pushing out over here, trying to maybe go after the Cohort of Quaddle, but going in unsupported is definitely some risky business. Yeah, we'll see. The Javelins, do those Silver Helms actually have shields? They do. Okay, so they'll be decent. But Solar Engine now opens up, just hits the ground there in front of the Rangers. It will get good damage on the Rangers if it is able to make contact. That blinded debuff is very good against elves in general, but Silverhelm's taking some major damage there. They will get a solid charge on those skinks, but I mean, they're just skinks. They're going to get countercharged by Cold One Riders at this point. And here comes the Tempest, preventing Imric from moving, really. He's going to get filled with all the javelins at this point, but the Silverhelms do manage to block some of them. Breath attack there, just going after the skinks to prevent them from firing as much as possible, I guess is decent. It is an overcast Tempest, though, so Imric's going to take some decent damage from that. You can see the Noble here in this front line is going to potentially peel into the back line, outmaneuver these Saurus, and go directly after the High Slon there, so I'm not sure where the healer's at. Looks like the healer is coming over, probably to get a regrowth. Yep, regrowth template pops up on Imric there. Nope. Actually, it got canceled out by something else. I'm not sure what exactly happened with the caster, but Imric needs a regrowth, like, right now. He's probably going to route anyway, to be honest, but yeah, the Noble here in the back line, kind of ping-ponging around between different targets, not really sure who he wants to go after 100%. Here comes the regrowth on Imric. He will be able to get back up in the air from this and get that heal. The question is, will it be enough? I mean, some nice maneuvering here by Bob Tresh. He gets in the back line with these Cav and with the cohort of Waddle as well. They're going to be charging through, getting some really nice damage. Imric will be able to regenerate some of that, like I said, but the Noble kind of ping-ponging back and forth here. Will the Solar Engine try and danger close blast him is the question. Probably wants to apply that blinded debuff. But here comes Imric back now with the regrowth. Cohort of Waddle do magic damage, right? So the Rangers, mostly relying on their physical resistance, do actually get pretty hard pounded there. But Imric potentially come get a rear charge on these Cold One Spear Riders right here, start to pull things back a little bit. The Stegodon doesn't have a whole lot of ammo left, the Bowstag, but honestly, one more Tempest probably finishes Imric off here, unfortunately. Earthblood there. Try and sustain the Noble as he fights in melee. Aura of Pretzels. Give a little bit more melee defense and armor to all these units fighting here. Oh man, Solar Engine going after the healer, trying to prevent Imric from getting any more heals. Probably pretty solid, but Imric, I don't know, man. Looks like he's going after the Slon. Gonna get a big attack here. Pops Lord of Dragons, minus defense and attack both. But Stegodon probably wants to countercharge in. Nope, looks like instead he's going to let the Cohort of Quaddle move in and do their work. A little Apotheosis on the Slon Lord. Heals him back up quite nicely. Imric gets distracted by the Cohort of Quaddle. Granted, he's doing a lot of damage to them, but he really needs to get away so that he can get some more heals. And speaking of heals, this Life Mage involved in combat here. Maybe where she shouldn't be, but it's fine. She'll be fine, I'm sure. Just needs to get another regrowth on Imric, and then she's basically got her value back. But this Lizard Cavalry just running opposed in the back line is a real problem. The Silver Helms are not enough to deal with those Cold One Spear Riders. And here comes the Tempest. That'll be it for Imric. He probably will just die straight out to that. It was Overcast Tempest as well. And yeah, army losses hits. Imric doesn't even go down, but just routes there. Fun stuff. Good stuff. The trick is to overcast it, Blackthorn. If you overcast it, it has an extended effect duration, and it does a lot more damage. But good games. Good games. Thanks for playing, and thanks you all for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'm going to go make myself a little bit of breakfast. We'll be back shortly, though, once the ECL starts back up. Going to be hanging out. Happy Puppy at the very least. We'll see who else wants to join in. If I can potentially get some of the competitors for a little pre-game chat. I don't know. They're probably getting in their zone anyway, but yeah, thank you guys so much for joining, and I'll be back